You're watching Hellbent Holler live. Hello and welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. Let us know that our audio is good, our video is good, and we'll get started with the show. We have a ton of people in here already, and the chat is already offline, Mr. Joe. Alrighty, cool. All right, thank you, Mr. Do. My name is Jesse. This is Joe. This is Hellbent Holler Live, our weekly show that we do every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, here from the studio, because normally we're out in the woods, but we like to hang out on Mondays with our crew and talk all things cryptids, paranormal, ghosts, high strangeness, time warps, every little thing.
Everything under the sun.
We had a little bit of a time warp situation this weekend, so we're definitely going to talk a little bit about some of that stuff. We're also going to talk about the video that I released on Friday, shocking evidence of the Cherokee Little People. So we're going to touch on all of that today, and we're going to discuss some of the crazy reports and experiences and uptick of activity of Sasquatch in South Carolina. As you guys know, Joe and I live in South Carolina, and we've been doing work in South Carolina for a number of years now, but it seems like it is heating up on the Sasquatch front on South Carolina now. So, Joseph?
I got nothing. I'm done.
Wow.
Great. Have a good night, everybody.
Great work.
So you released the video on Friday. We had already shared a little bit with it, 2 Mondays previously?
Yeah.
So, but you guys got to see everything. It's in entirety. We've been getting some really cool messages from people picking up on some stuff that we didn't notice, as far as like light anomalies.
But that happens with every single video we do. That's what's so great about having a community that views our work, views my work, and really
views my work.
I'm the
my work.
The
Okay.
editor, you know.
Oh, all right then. Glad we all learned that together here. Okay.
Our work. So much hard work. So much.
So,
It's what's good about having a community that views our work. Are you cashing out now? You're done?
I'm done. I'm putting in some applications with other channels right now. But my favorite thing about this video that you just released on Friday.
What?
Was a comment that we received in Russian. And
oh yes,
it was left in all Russian, and I'd used the YouTube as a little translate to English button.
Okay. And what did it say?
The comment in Russian was, and this was left on the Cherokee Little People video that we just released.
Lay it on us.
Comment is as follows. In my opinion, this footprint was made by an ordinary moose. It is just that the moose has a slightly larger leg than usual.
Oh.
You also haven't applied the cream from badger feces. Bigfoot can smell without this ointment. And then it just goes on from there. But I thought that it was nice that they thought it was a moose, a larger leg than usual.
Yeah.
Left that very small little footprint.
Yeah.
But the badger feces cream, is there something out there that we are unaware of in the Bigfoot world? Is everybody slathering themselves with badger feces?
I think I'm done at that. The badger feces.
I think we'll check out. Let's go be ghost hunters now.
I think we're going to be ghost hunters. I don't think ghost hunters have to slather themselves in beaver feces. I think I'm good. So maybe that's something they do in Russia. You know?
Yeah. I think we're going to stay out of Russia. Stay the hell out of Russia. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds pretty good.
Hey, you guys want to go to Bigfoot and look for Russia? Not particularly. No. Are you sure I got the badger feces on? But no.
I've got gallons.
I'm good.
Gallons.
I got
Industrial.
extra. I got extra. Anyway.
God.
All
right.
A couple quick housekeeping things here real quick. Daniel Thomas, thank you for rejoining as a member. And then Bonnie Blue McGee. It's been a member for a month. Hopefully you're not having a 1 month regret right now. Going, what am I doing? 1 month regrets. And then Curtis leading us out as always. Thank you for that, Curtis. Sir. Thank you for that. That's going into the battery replacement fund.
I think that's pretty much going to be covering the duties on the badger feces cream from Russia. You know how we got.
You know what? That'll be an inside joke. Look for one of the. In one of the upcoming videos, sometime just when we're on an investigation and just when nothing's going on, just in a moment, just go, hey, you're going to need this, and hand me a little jar, and we'll have badger feces ointment on the top. It'll be kind of like an Easter egg for people. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever?
Thank you for that, Tanya.
Oh, thank you, Tanya.
Thank you.
Did you? We were watching some of our old stuff because we were pulling out some clips for Anomicon. Yeah, that's what it was. We were pulling clips for Anomicon for that presentation that I did for Anomicon. And I was going over some of our LBL stuff. And I was looking at the Werewolf Experiment series when we went back to the LBL for the second time. And I had to call you in there to bring you in there to show you the part where I'm putting the gloves on. Did we ever talk about this glove situation? Did we ever talk about this on the show?
So we have gloves, sterilized gloves that we carry with us. And we carry the gloves because there's not supposed to be the DNA on them to begin with. We carry those in plastic bags. So I had 2 sets of extra large and 2 sets of small gloves in the bag. And you have to be very particular in how you put gloves on so you don't contaminate them with your own DNA. And even doing them the right way, professionals will still sometimes contaminate them. It's very difficult to do, especially when you're juggling camera equipment and all of this stuff, and you're trying to put up Sasquatch pheromone chips and wolf lore
that are quite pungent.
So we weren't necessarily worried because we weren't using them for DNA collection. Right. We were using them to keep the ape piss smell off of us.
The must
off of us. So I'm filming Jessie, and she's putting up a Sasquatch pheromone chip. And she's got this bag. I'm doing all the hard stuff. I've got the camera. It's cold. I'm doing all this. She's got the bag, and she pulls out the gloves, and she's trying to put she pulls out a pair of extra large, tries to put them on, looks at them, the fingers hanging off of her end of her fingers. And then she rolls them back up, puts them back in, gets the other pair of extra large, puts them on again, dumbfounded, rolls them back up, and I'm just going, all these gloves are contaminated now. What the hell? We can't use them. Then she grabs, what does she grab?
I didn't roll them back up.
Does she grab, okay, these 2 don't work, so therefore these must be the small or extra small, whatever size they are. No, she gets another pack of the extra large gloves. And at that point, I go, what the hell is going on? We can't even get
No,
gloves out
that's
of a bag.
no.
It's like the Keystone Cops here, for God's sakes.
I
man.
didn't roll them back up properly. I just stuffed them back in the bag. So I was like, okay, listen.
So then she somehow gets a small glove on the left hand and an extra large glove on the right hand. But at this point, she's too embarrassed to say anything. So she's trying to hide the right hand.
I'm good with my little hand.
And then she's using the one hand, and I didn't pick up on it until we reviewed the footage. And I'm like, did you have an extra glove on? Extra large glove on that hand? And she's like, I did. I was trying to hide it. I'm so sorry.
I messed up the glove situation so many times. You ought to
put out a friggin' glove blooper reel. So
at that point. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Thank you for Dead End Yard Hunt for badger wipes to get the ointment off at that point. So.
Buddy Blue McGee said, y'all are so losing your P.O. box if you order badger feces. Yeah, we almost lost it with the wolf piss. And
we ordered, and I've told the story before. But
wasn't there bobcat pee?
Yeah, somebody sent it. You know who sent us bobcat pee. And
so you know who sent us bobcat
pee. We wanted to try these scent experiments. And I know that everybody always jumps on me. I know that the part of the Beast of the LBL and the attack that happened, where they say that the parents must, their musky cologne and perfume that they were wearing, their Jovan or whatever they were in, high karate, whatever that 1980s very musky cologne that the father was wearing, drew in the Beast of the LBL. That's probably a later addition to it, and it probably didn't happen that way. But I was let's introduce some novel smells and try to see if we can try to either to draw something in. I always say make it curious, piss it off, or get it in the mood to breed. You know what I'm saying? So we've got Sasquatch pheromone chips, and I'm like, well, let's put some wolf musk out as well. One of those little stories that go along with that 1982 massacre is that there was some DNA tested, and it came back as a mixture of wolf primate and human. So I'm like, where does one get wolf lore, like wolf pee? I want wolf urine. That's what I want. And there's a guy who was apparently like the Tiger Woods of like wolf lore. Okay. And then wolf trapping.
The Tiger Woods of wolf. So
he was the best there was. You know what I'm saying?
So is a terrible
that's best
analogy.
So as wolf trapping got out of favor, they stopped making it. Well, now wolves have been reintroduced in a lot of areas, and they quickly got out of control and did wolf things, started attacking livestock and all that. So wolf trapping has gotten back into vogue in certain parts of the country.
Wolf activities.
Yeah. So this guy's, I guess it's his grandson's son and a grandson. I don't know. They get the family business ramp back up. So they're apparently making like phenomenal like wolf lore, and they use like wolf like breeding scents and urine and all this stuff. It's terrible. It's the worst thing you ever smell in your entire life. So I message them and I go, hey, I want to buy some wolf lore. And they go, you got wolves down there in South Carolina? And I get my address, and I'm like, something like that. Yeah. So they sent us this wolf lore. And it's packaged at home because I guess it's a cottage industry. This
literally in a cottage.
In a cottage. So we get these 3 glass bottles that are screw-on lids, and then they're wrapped with electric tape. And then they were put in great value sandwich bags, like from Walmart, and then just mailed to us. They wouldn't fit in the P.O. box. So we had to go up to the counter at the post office and collect our wolf lore. And the dude at the post office is just looking at us like, what the hell are you guys doing? What is this? The whole place like reeks right now. Is this safe? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's completely safe. It's just it's some animal lore and and just scrammed on out. And then it was Take Two Wheels, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Sent us, and it wasn't bobcat lore. It was mountain lion lore, and you know how bad cat pee smells. Well, now it's a giant cat. That really, I thought we were going to lose our P.O. box on that one.
And one of them, I think leaked a
little bit. So yeah, we were not very well known at the. We were very well known and not very well liked at our post office there. So
yeah, we got real close. Oof.
Mama Michael sent us a little thing, a little help from Mom. She was excited the other night.
She was having a hoot and a holler.
Tell her we said hello. And then Ristel bringing up a joke from the past. Visit Skint Picker Ranch. I forgot about Skint Picker Ranch. I forgot about Skint Picker Ranch. All right. Anyway, let's get serious here.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to catch up with the chat a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm Foggy Flyer. Interesting couple of days. We did have an interesting couple of days.
Yeah. So we're still in the process of testing the live streaming apparatus and equipment that we're using. We're trying it in all of these different places where we have done investigations before. And we went to an area we've been to before, and we've released several videos on before, the Dark Corner. So if you're familiar with our videos and all of these videos we've put out concerning the Dark Corner and all the crazy stuff that's happened there and all the experiences we've had there, this would be no surprise to you. We went out there to test it out and to do an investigation because we had not actually been out there too much lately. And we've been focusing on some other areas. So we decided to go out there and test that out. But while we're going out there, we have to hike all the way into the location where we want to try to run this test on the equipment and hopefully do a live stream from there.
Happy birthday, by the way, Paul.
Happy birthday, Paul.
Happy birthday.
So you want to take it from there a little bit?
This is what always happens with the show. We come in with topics to talk about, and then the chat's always so great that we get sidetracked. Source some organic badger feces. I did finally find somewhere that I think I can get gorilla urine. You ever have those moments where you just stop and go, how the hell did my life end up like this? Where I'm on YouTube with hundreds of people watching me.
It's happening right now.
And I go, I finally found a place that I can source gorilla urine.
How do you think I feel? I feel like my husband just found out a way he could get gorilla pee.
Yeah. Wow. That is not going to end up with me on some biohazard watch list. So wait to see some urine, some gorilla urine making up.
Keep your eyes peeled for some pee, friends.
Keep your eyes peeled. So what were we even talking about? I got sidetracked with the birthday wishes.
You know what? We started talking about the video from Friday. And then I started going into the weekend because somebody said it was an interesting.
So let's finish with the video Friday.
Let's stay on track.
Stay focused. Let's stay focused. So we released the video on Friday.
Not a moose.
Not a moose. Not a moose. I don't know what those footprints were, but I'm gonna say I'd bet the farm that was not a moose.
Yeah.
Not a moose in the mountains of North Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that I don't take a lot of hard stances, but I'm going to take a hard stance on that. And not a moose. Don't know what it was. So we released that, and people have been seeing some really cool stuff. And some other light anomalies that kind of showed up real quick. Jesse highlighted the one really weird one that was like unmistakable.
Yeah, that it came up right here, right behind me, and there was nothing over there to catch a reflection of a flashlight. My light was over here. Joe had the camera. He wasn't running a flashlight, but it was that golden just light up. I don't know if it was eye shine. I don't know if it was self-illuminated. You're kind of going and you don't really know, but it definitely came up right here behind me, in that thicket that was behind me.
So sometimes you see these lights and they're just reflections off of insects. That one was not. It was really bright. That was just a little, and people are going, was it eye shine? Was it an orb? And I'm going, I don't know.
No clue.
It wasn't an insect. It wasn't and it flashes and then stops before the flashlight or the camera light beam gets over to it. Very weird. And so that area is a lot to unpack. That area is a lot to unpack. Again, we went in there because Jesse noticed a pattern with a couple of missing hunters. It was weird. We got another comment too. Some dude incensed that there have never been missing hunters in North Georgia. Never. And this is all made up. And I'm going, you can, a little bit of Google Foo and you can see.
Did you say Google Foo?
Yeah, a little like Google Foo. So Kung Fu. So,
yeah, I've been looking into missing people for years at this point, and it's not that hard. There is a national database on missing people, and you can use that, or you can use newspapers or just any kind of resource like that. I have official resources for this. Yes, there are people missing. There are people who have never been found in that area. And there is documentation to back that up. There's still open cases. There's still families out there who don't have their loved ones. So I'm going to tell you right now, yes, there are people missing in that area.
So we released that and we went in there looking for that. And then we were kind of dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded by right now, just going like, what the hell? Luckily, Jesse saw that small print. And usually that's what I'm usually the tracker out of the two of us. And she saw it. She was just like, hey. And at first I'm like, and then I look and I go, that's in a perfect spot. It's everything's gravel around it. One little sandy spot, something stepped there, stepped again into the water, stepped on that rock where the moss was done, and then went up that embankment. And then we followed the way the footprint pointed and found the rest of that stuff. And I've heard like all sorts of like crazy debunking stuff that people are letting their children play out there. And I'm going, who are these? Has anybody who like goes deep into the woods, like, I'm talking 10 miles, like on foot. Have you ever come across just some kids and then you go, where are your parents? Oh, they drop us off 10 miles at the trailhead, and then we get off trail and then just bushwhack for several miles.
And then we just kind of Lord of the Flies it for a couple
run
of
around
days.
barefoot. We build some structures, that's what we do. So, and again, it's not outside the realm of possibility that somebody could have made it, but it's not a lean-to structure. That's not something to hold a tarp up. That served no functional purpose. And because I think that if you tried to attach a tarp to any of those sticks, they were just kind of woven. They're going to pull forward.
Well, also, if you're going to build a lean-to shelter, you're going to have it all along one line, and it's going to be over one line. Or if you're going to build, like somebody said something about a teepee, attempting to build a teepee. This was an arch. There was no circular bottom to it or anything like that. It wasn't triangular in that way. It wasn't a cone shape or anything like that. It was an arch. It was just... It was like if you have a gateway into your garden or something like that. That's exactly what it was. It was an arch. There was no backside. There was no front side. It was just on one plane.
So very weird. And then those little rings of stone, again, I don't know what they were. They were weird. They were obviously somebody had made them. They're not fire rings. I don't know what they are. One's a spiral and one's looks like a spiral with like two horns on it or something, two little pieces up at the top. And I don't know. It's just weird. It wasn't what we expected, but it's in an area that's right above where a Cherokee settlement, a Cherokee town used to be. And that area is rife with lore of the Cherokee Little People. Yeah. We're finding little footprints. We're finding little structures. Again, there's always that debate of like, is it juvenile Sasquatch? Is it the little people? And I'm just going, if we were finding a mixture of big and small footprints through there, I'd be more open to the juvenile Sasquatch kind of like idea. And also too, it had a certain level. It felt sophisticated and ritualistic to me.
It did have a ritualistic feeling to it.
And I don't think you would see juvenile anything doing that.
Kind of what, that's what those spirals of quartz kind of indicated to me, that there was something ritualistic about this. Now, we don't know for sure. Again, we are not saying that this is exactly what this is at all. We don't know. We didn't see what built these things. We didn't see what placed those stones down.
Weird.
It's it just, a lot of this just, we're kind of just it doesn't make sense that it would be like children doing this. I know some people are like, my kids would do this or whatever. We don't know, that there aren't gangs of children building archways and making stone spirals in the middle of the woods. It's a bit odd. But it did seem ritualistic to me. What now?
Somewhere there's this shady zookeeper shaking, thinking, not another order. He's got to go collect it by hand. So anyway.
At least you're not asking for any other kind of sample.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So, well, you know what? I don't know. I haven't found the hidden menu yet. So, so we've got this area, and again, we are trying to go where the universe takes us. And we are out there looking for missing hunters. And I'm going to be honest with you, I immediately kind of latched onto, whether it ruffles people's feathers or not, Sasquatch has sometimes been known to exhibit predatory behavior and predate upon humans, it seems like. And that's what I went in there kind of expecting. And then when we had that, I'm just going, now there could be two separate weird things going on. There could be 20 different weird things going on in that area. But all we found in that particular area right now it's adjacent to other weird stuff that we found, but it just kind of threw us for a loop. So I don't know. It's and as much as I have trouble wrapping my head around the concept, I know all the lore, I know all the folklore, I know how the folklore is similar from region to region and culture to culture and continent to continent. And I understand that. And I understand that, but at the same time, coming to grips that something like that is real is difficult to do. But then you got to take a step back and go, well, if anything is real with this, little tiny things that could hide pretty easily.
Kind of make a little more sense.
Kind of make a little more sense. And especially they're, at least in this area, they're constantly associated with living underground and coming out of cracks in the earth and caves and all that. And I'm going, something 8 feet tall is going to have a hard time maneuvering through some of these caves around here, but something small, and especially if something's a tool user like that and has a certain level of sophistication to it, is as hard as it is to kind of wrap my head around, I've got to go. It makes sense.
The Deuster has a interesting point here. Those quartz stones in a spiral shape denote a portal, or so they say on Skinwalker Ranch. So
they found?
I'm guessing they have found spiral, maybe petroglyphs or maybe stone circles.
Well, I know that spirals and petroglyphs, and then cave art, people have hypothesized that those represent some sort of portal or gateway or something like that.
Yeah. So possibly, possibly that's what that is. I thought it was kind of odd that you've got this sort of symbol right in front of something that appears to be a gateway. I thought that the combination of those two things together kind of track, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they are not in the same kind of thought process. I thought it was very strange that these two spiral shapes are right in front of right here in this front of this arch, this gateway. They seem like they go together for some reason or another.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I was calling it an arch. Jesse was instantly her instinctively went gateway. And I'm just I even made a comment. I don't know if you included it in the video or not. I said, you're very fixated on this gateway idea. And
I was it's in there.
And you were like, that's just how I feel. That's how I feel it to be. So
yeah, I've got some stuff marked if you want to take a look in there. And
okay. Let me see what else we got here.
Ramblers.
Listen, the other thing too is we're freaking exhausted after this weekend. We had a crazy
we'll get to some of that
investigation.
Sure. Yeah,
we've not gotten a lot of sleep. Like Foggy Flyer said earlier, it was an interesting couple of days. Richard Sharp wanted to know, what is the most advanced tech you guys own? It has not come here yet. The Deuster is working in his laboratory feverishly.
That's going to be.
And I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna set real high expectations to this. I'm gonna set everybody's expectations.
Set the bar very high.
Really high, because it's the Deuster.
It's beautiful.
So I knew that it was gonna be it was gonna wow me. So going in with great expectations, I still just went, what the hell? Really? Dewey? What the hell? Jesse said it looks like something that somebody smuggled out of
a government black site lab.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So that will probably be our most advanced tech that we have. And it will be a one-off, because he says he's never built another one, because it's completely consumed his entire life.
Yeah.
Brett Elliott had asked, what's our take on cryptid eye shine? Watched another channel and they got blue, yellow, red, and white. Regular animals, their eye shine will vary depending upon their diet sometimes. So that's not outside the realm of possibility in the natural world, that the same species will exhibit different eye shine. And then different species exhibit different eye shine. We've caught weird eye shine before that didn't seem like it had a natural animal going along with it. So we've caught disembodied eye shine or eyes or something one time before in North Georgia, an area adjacent to where we found those that arch. I sent it off to actually Ron Lanham from Wild and Weird, West Virginia, and I just
was when I was in that that clearing, and we left me in the clearing, and I was just gonna kind of see if I could kind of get into a state and make contact with something and it came up. like behind me. We also got eye shine in that area. I don't know. You seem to forget this sometimes too, but it's in there. We actually got eye shine in that area right after we got the recording of those two entities at the offering.
Oh no,
tree.
we got something dipping behind a tree, but that was big.
Yeah,
that was
that
big.
was tall.
That was tall. That was big. That gave the presence, like the suggestion of pretty good size there. But yeah, so I think that, and again, if you're dealing with creatures that are outside supernatural, they're outside the natural world, they're outside of our understanding on how the world works. Sky's the limit. Maybe the eyes change with their moods, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. So Tanya had asked, would it be good to do an offering at the arch? I made that suggestion. I have evolved a lot, and I have changed a lot, and I have sometimes done things that I swore I'd never do, but I'm still not to the point where I'm not making offerings to these things, because I just still don't get a warm, fuzzy feeling from a lot of this stuff. So, oh, I got a new name for pork chop. It's PCX, you know, instead of just pork chop or chop, PCX.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway, I find it
groundbreaking.
Yeah, I find it fascinating how almost every Native American tribe has a little people legend to juxtapose a hairy man.
Yeah,
that's pretty much everywhere. I mean, no matter what culture you go into, they've got legends and lore of tiny little humanoids that a lot of times come out from under the ground, or come through an opening from somewhere else. And yeah, it's so universal. And I understand that. And you go, well, it's so universal, but it's still just hard to wrap your head around when you get right down to it. Thank you for that, PCX.
PCX also said Jessie wouldn't give up her beef jerky for an offering. So we've had a couple of people talk to us about possibly what we could use as an offering, and I know JD Smooth suggested tobacco, and we've kind of bandied that idea around. I don't think we're ready at this point to start making offerings to anything. It doesn't make us comfortable at this point.
I'm not.
Because that kind of establishes some sort of give and take relationship that I'm not ready to have with whatever this is.
And it's weird. I don't know. It's just, and I think you can kind of tell how dumbfounded we were when we were like discovering it and like talking and just kind of going, I don't know what the hell this is. This is so weird.
Way of the Sploot has a good thing here. An offering creates a bond or contract of some sort. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. And you can do the one.
That's a great point.
I wanted to kind of follow up on that because that's a perfect way to phrase that.
That's why we don't usually Jessie takes rocks and she'll take little souvenirs from places. But like when we found the quartz that was stacked under that tree, that offering tree, we didn't take it. We didn't take that bird feather that we found there because you're accepting something. And there's an implied contract at that point, take upon an obligation.
If there's such a established give or take, and then you don't give when it wants to take, then where are you at?
Or it doesn't.
What are the consequences? What are the ramifications of us not filling in our side of the bargain if that occurs, even if we don't understand what the bargain is.
So LW, boy, LW, and LW's got to fill us in on how the Mothman festival.
Yeah.
So were they bow hunting or using rifles? One guy we know had a rifle. The other one was running dogs, I'm assuming a rifle. They found him deceased, finally. The other one they've never found.
I think it was 10 days.
Yeah. The other one, they gave up after the search. They gave up the search after what, 3 days?
3 days.
So nothing other than his tent was found on that. His rifle might have been there. I can't recall. You researched it far more in depth than I have.
There was no, in all of the resources I have right now, there was no mention of a rifle. It did say that all of his effects were still at his camp, but his tent was torn open. That there were long cuts and scratches that opened up his tent, but his effects were all there, but he was completely gone.
Oh, Henry, go back and move the stones and see what happens. Why don't you just remember that little comment there here in a few minutes, Henry? And we'll get to that when we talk about this past weekend.
Just see what happens.
Yeah, just to see what happens. Just to see what happens. happens.
And then, yeah, we'll talk about what happened over the past couple of days when we just do stuff to see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's just so.
And we're not gonna stop.
So weird. They asked. Oki asked, "What was that light at the gateway?" We don't know.
We have no idea.
We didn't really even see it until we reviewed the video.
Oh my God. If I saw that while I was standing there, I probably would have jumped out of my skin. You would have definitely heard a few choice words. So we didn't see it there. I think I was so dumbfounded by what we discovered with this gateway, this archway, these symbols. I think I was still so in awe about that. I didn't even notice over here. And you're in the woods, it's night, your senses are heightened, your adrenaline's going, you don't really see everything around you. As much as you want to try to pay attention to your surroundings, sometimes that Oz factor kicks in, We had
the Oz factor kick in this
weekend, and we'll you kind of, so I didn't notice that until I'm doing the review of the video and I'm editing the video, and I was like, oh my God. So then I go through it frame by frame, and I see that come up there. So I wanted to highlight that so that everybody could see that, because I thought that was that was fantastic. That was it was like bewildering to see that light but I have no idea what it is. You can maybe make some, guesses about what it could be, but we don't know.
Go back to that in a second. Pyro says they have a rock spiral the size of a volleyball court on Skinwalker Ranch.
We're dealing in this.
We'll finally get to see that
little time
when we retire from this ourselves. Then we'll watch it. And Christina had asked if we would ever plan to come to the Low Country. Yeah, if anybody has anything, we're not coming there in the summertime because it's even hotter there than it is up here.
No.
But
we are actually planning. I really want to go do some Lizard Man, but that's in the middle of the state. That is South Carolina's most famous cryptid.
Yes. So, but yeah, if we get we either go into areas that have a pattern of activity or recent activity, or areas that we've learned to look for some unique stuff. And then even if we don't have any stories coming out of there, we know this area might have something going on in it. So there we go.
Yeah.
Lots of people from South Carolina tonight in here.
They saw South Carolina on the.
Lots of people from South Carolina. Guys, we are from the upstate of South Carolina. That's where we're based at. We go through all.
We're not from here. This is where we live.
Well, Jesse's from here. I'm a transplant.
I'm from North Carolina. Thank you.
Yeah, but still, we're in the upstate. We are Carolina based. So if you guys ever have any, we get people contacting us from
Indiana,
Wisconsin, a lot of stuff on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And we just can't pack up and just go on a whim for 3 days or so.
We can't follow up on that stuff. It's
stuff from around here.
Yeah.
Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia. Let us know if you guys have had anything happen. And,
we can follow up on reports like that. That's something we can mobilize and follow up on. Reports from Washington are interesting. But there's nothing we can do about them. We can't. We don't have the Hellbent Holler Express.
Yeah. So anyway, if you do email us and you've got some Carolina stuff, put Carolina in the subject matter.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Because we're always looking for interesting encounters in the Carolinas.
Low Country. We love the hills and hollers, but if you got something going on down there, let us know. So anyway, let's see here.
I've got one. Okay.
What you got?
MK Ultra, my boy, says, have you heard about possible evidence of mine culture found in northern Georgia in the Chattahoochee National Forest? They have little people legends as well. So one of my what was that show that had that archaeologist on it that I said he seemed like he was a tad drunk? What was that called? He did an entire episode on the Mayans.
A tad drunk.
Yes, he seems just a tad.
I don't remember that.
Just a hair. But he did an episode on the Mayans in North Georgia. And I think that was the first time I had ever heard about that. And I think this is from 15, 20 years ago. And I have been fascinated with that concept ever since. It was because you keep finding these areas that appear to be mounded, almost step pyramid type areas. And we found multiple areas like this. Now, there is terrace farming in this region, and there used to be terrace farming in this region. So that could explain some of these discoveries of these mounds or these mountains or hills that appear to be overgrown step pyramids. However, there was a theory that the Mayans traveled from South America up and into this region. They've even found evidence of the blue ochre that they would often paint their sacrifices with at the bottom of natural lakes and rivers. So there's a little bit to that possibly. I love the idea of that, but there's definitely got to be some more investigation into that.
So yeah, I'm familiar that we actually got a lady got in touch with us and lived near one of the things out there, but then she dropped off. I know we never heard anything back from her at that point. So
yeah,
the thing you have to understand about us is that we're not chroniclers of stories. We use accounts to kind of like
as a jumping off point
for our own investigations. We're field investigators. That's what we are. We don't collect stories. Their stories are great. Accounts are great. Experiences are great. But that's not our main focus. So we're not as agile and quick as people would like us to be sometimes in doing that. And because again, when we're not, at the day job or sleeping or, to go to the day job, we're out in the woods actually doing stuff. So.
Yeah. And that's kind of our forte. That's kind of where we shine, is being out in the woods and investigating these things. There are a lot of people that are fantastic at collecting stories. And I think
that serves a lot of, it has a lot of worth to it, but it's just not what we do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to find what Stephen, I wish I hadn't read your comment.
What?
Oh, Abigail popped. Hello, Abigail.
Hello, Abigail.
I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Abigail.
So we can get into.
Don't look at it as an offering. Look at it as bait.
Oh.
Wow, you just completely. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Sold Joe.
We might be doing a little something now to see what we can do. So,
yeah.
Professor Geek, welcome to the channel. Just discovered your channel recently. Great work. Ever investigated in Virginia? I had a sighting of something when I was a kid that I still don't know if it was a dream or if somebody hoaxed me or what, but I had I guess you'd call it a Bigfoot sighting there, George Washington National Forest. And but that's the only thing like of that nature that happened to me. I had some weird experiences in a house when I was a kid, but not really. We haven't done this. Hellbent Holler has not been to Virginia. Southwest Virginia is probably one of the hottest spots in the entire, I'm going to say country, and it might be world, as far as like weird stuff goes. For a while, we were getting multiple reports daily, and we're not known for taking reports. So that means we were probably just seeing a fraction of what was really going on up there. So Virginia, especially Western Virginia, near the West Virginia border and all that, is wild. And Southwest Virginia, even wilder. So thank you for that, Professor Geek.
They all knew who I was talking about. Scott Walter.
What's that now?
With America Unearthed. That was that show. I'm just now getting down there. So I'm getting down to that part with the America Unearthed, with the Mayan civilization.
Gotcha.
Somebody might be offended that I said that. He just seemed like he's just a tad.
I can't remember seeing that guy at all.
I think he seemed like a world weary kind of guy, that he's just,
Maybe that's it. World weary.
World weary.
Yeah, world weary. Picking South Carolina here. I've got a lot of South Carolina folks here. So, and what's weird is South Carolina, we got North Carolina, Western North Carolina. There's a lot of attention on that. South Carolina doesn't get the attention that a lot of other places get, as far as like Bigfoot, Dogman. There's a ton of Dogman like reports through the South Carolina portion of it. Now, again, our knowledge kind of peters out as it gets closer to the coast, but the upstate and the western portion of it, there's a ton of stuff. People just don't talk about it that much. Now that there's some more, like there's a lot of there's a lot of people moving to this area and then they're having experiences and they're talking a little bit more, but the people that have been here for a while, they just don't make reports to like the BFRO, or they don't, they just don't really, get about it and talk about it on Facebook. Some of them just don't want to talk about it at all. Other people, it's just, a matter of course, it's just something that happens. So, but the amount of stuff that happens in South Carolina, we were out at a spot this past weekend that just was extremely interesting, that you're going to see a lot more of. That's got some really interesting activity going on at that point. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's let's see, looking through people talking about how the idea of little people creep them out more than Dogman. Am I alone on that? We talked about how the Cherokee are the main Native American tribe in this region, and there's the Catawba, and people that are in the tribe, they have mixed kind of feelings and opinions on Bigfoot. It's damn near universal that everybody takes the topic of little people very seriously. You know what I'm saying? True?
Yes, it's a very serious subject, and it's not a matter of believing; it's a matter of knowing. And I think that a lot of people that we've talked to that are of Cherokee or Catawba descent believe more in the little people than Bigfoot, as a whole, right?
Yeah. Here we go. Mary Plyler, thank you for that. Keep up the great work. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, Bodie in Tennessee, what's up, buddy? Besides Sasquatch and the Yunwi-Sundi, have you guys taken any, I'm not even going to pronounce that, Tianunwa, Thunderbird sightings in your region? No, we've heard the stories, but that I have not heard any modern accounts, but then again, we're not really known for that. So there might be out there, but we haven't gone out looking for it, and nobody's ever reported it to us. So
that's really something you don't hear a lot about with a lot of these like cryptid encounters is Thunderbird sightings. Gotta bring the Thunderbird back.
Bringing Thunderbird back, yeah. So now we will need the helicopter. So, all right, let's see. Now everybody knows America on Earth. So I guess you were not alone in thinking of that.
I watched that episode so many times.
Yeah.
Chair Dog asked, "Do you have a date planned for the Bridgewater Triangle yet?" No,
not at all.
Nope.
What's difficult about living in this portion of the Southern Appalachians is there's so much going on. So much going on. And I mean, if we hit the lottery tomorrow and we quit the day jobs and we devoted ourselves to this 60 hours a week apiece, and we could probably just within about a 5-state area, just do it every day. You know what I'm saying? Literally go out and investigate something that has happened recently or an area that has had a pattern and a history of stuff. So we're wanting to branch out in the new year to a few other spots. But a lot of times you have to weigh the cost versus what you're going to get. We can hit 3 or 4 areas with recent activity down here and still have money to keep the project going, or spend a bunch of money going up which is going to be cool for the sightseeing aspect.
Yeah, but that is quite a haul for us and all of our equipment.
But we want to do that. That's on the short list.
Eventually, yes, I'd love to go. There's a lot of stuff on the list of eventually. But yeah.
Let me get this one real quick. Greg McDonald had asked, how about doing a video about the electronics and equipment you use for us beginners, brands, where to purchase, usage, etc. What works and what doesn't? This makes me sound like an a-hole, but it's how it is.
I was about to say, here we go.
Yeah, it makes me, I used to spend a great deal of time helping a lot of people with like equipment stuff.
Yes, because I'm pretty sure that we have probably one of the most diverse and extensive equipment loadouts.
And because I'm also a crazy person, who was friends with other crazy people, like Dooster, and we come up with a bunch of like really cool stuff. And what happened is that I stopped doing that because a lot of people acted like just entitled jerks about it. You know what I'm saying? So I got ticked off one day because of some attitudes, and I just stopped doing it.
Yeah.
We did a loadout video with like several generations of equipment ago.
Very long ago.
But I mean, it was to the point where I was helping people do stuff. And then what happened is that, you know, it's troublesome for the field in general. Well, not the field. It's troublesome for us. Let's just say it like that. When somebody takes a piece of equipment and uses it incorrectly and then tries to come forward with that as being evidence, because then all of a sudden when we use the equipment correctly,
right,
people are already kind of like predisposed to thinking it's a bunch of BS.
Right.
And also just and I still help people occasionally. I mean, people contact me with stuff like that. And if I know them or whatnot, I'll help them out with it. But I mean, we spend a lot of time, and it's very expensive to kind of nail.
And there's
a
lot of there's a lot of beta testing, trial and error, you know, figuring out how to mount some of this stuff, figuring out how to carry some of the stuff, figuring out how to power some of the stuff. We're talking hundreds of man hours just in research and development side of
I don't have a
loadout.
I don't have a life outside of this stuff.
And it takes, you know, a lot of time.
So like I said, it was just, I was willing to kind of
then if we made just so we've spent 300 hours putting all of this together. This is time that we don't take vacations. We don't get a day off. We don't.
And also it's petty. Anything. It's petty of me too, but there's a certain.
But then we give you a list of all of this stuff, and then you can just go out here.
And then you can get on your channel and go, oh, look what I came up with, guys. And it pissed me off. So I stopped after that. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
But after it was something that we had developed up that we shared with somebody, and then it was just like, look what I came up with, guys. I'm a person. I'm, you know, if that makes me sound petty, it makes me sound petty, but it ticked me off.
You're like, no, you
didn't. Joe, is Dogman really up in the county in Pickens County? Yeah, we get reports.
We've gotten several reports.
We've gotten several reports up there. There's some audio.
In Pickens County primarily.
There's some audio floating around from Pickens County that has not made it into the cryptid sphere now. That is being kind of shared around by some people who are in wildlife management and archaeology around through here. There's some strange audio that we're trying to get a chance to listen to, but that was from Pickens County. So it's very, it's a weird area through here, man. It's a very weird area through here. So, all right, let's see what else we got here.
South Carolina is kind of the unsung stepchild of cryptid and Bigfoot activity. If you would look at these Bigfoot mapping project maps a while back, nowadays there are sightings all over South Carolina now that there's more information getting out there. But traditionally, South Carolina was
excuse me,
Joe's dead. See what you've done?
I went on a rant there and my throat got too dry. So.
Traditionally, South Carolina was just left out for some reason, that there just were not a lot of sightings reported from South Carolina, but that's kind of changed now that, the reporting mechanisms are a lot easier to access. People are easier to access to make those reports. And I think people are more open to talking about them. But there's a lot of activity going on in South Carolina that people don't really know about. And we've got a new area that we're actually investigating that we kind of, christened over the past couple of days. And we're extremely excited about it. A gentleman got in touch with us about a year and a half ago, and he goes out there and he picks up litter, and he has experienced things being thrown at him. He's experienced a lot of audio, would you say vocalizations?
Yes, vocalizations. So.
Big brain on this one. He's experienced a lot of vocalizations out there, and he wanted us to come out there. So we went out with him a while back and explored around these areas. And we went to this certain spot, and he goes, I'm telling you, I hear crazy stuff in this direction. Now, where we were, you look forward, and it is basically the center of this giant swath of land. There are no houses out there. There's no people out there. It is pure, unadulterated wilderness.
It's crazy rough wilderness.
It is rugged terrain.
That looking at it on a map and knowing how to read a topo map is one thing, and then getting out there and just going, good Lord, this is. I have these moments where I will sometimes, and I still don't think there's undiscovered monkeys running around the woods. I don't think these are apes, but you get into these areas and I start to go, it doesn't seem likely to me, but I can't say it's impossible, because you get into some of these areas and I'm going, they're so difficult to traverse on foot for us. And when we were there, the trees and the brush is so thick. I mean, you're not getting through it as a person, man. And I mean, I'm just looking at it. I'm just going, all right, mate, you know what? I can't rule it out. I don't think it's likely, but I can't say it's impossible. Sam Burton had said, Ace asked me to send this and tell you he's always available if you need any teeth work. He's tired of killing Georgia possums.
Oh, no.
We do need to do something with Ace, and Sam can come along too sometimes. So thank you for that, Sam. We appreciate it, buddy.
His entourage.
And it's cool because the floodgates from South Carolina has opened up. 1974, 1975, I was going to a Clemson basketball game about 6 p.m. Something blew up in the sky and it was like daytime for a couple of minutes.
Oh, wow.
This happened in Pickens County. 1974, 1975, Pickens County, 6 p.m.
Gotcha.
Julie B popped in here. Hello, Julie B. Raymond Lister's from Woodruff, South Carolina. Robert's here. He's from South Carolina.
All right, everybody's gathered up today.
Born in Pickens County. I just,
but yeah, so I wanted to kind of touch on that there is a lot of activity going on in South Carolina, and we are kicking off our listening project that is yet to reveal the name of,
because I can't come up with a cool
because we can't come up with a cool name.
I want a cool acronym that, like, that sounds just kind of badass.
The beaver grease.
Yeah. So I want a cool acronym for, we're going to do a listening project, because I've got the long-term audio recorders pretty well dialed in right now. And so we're going to start seeding certain areas with like long duration audio recorders.
Yeah.
Run them from sunset to sunrise for 30 days and see what we come up with. And but
this is definitely
but I gotta come up with the names. So I'm good with the tech stuff, but I'm just not that creative with that.
Well, we got to get started. You're very behind on this name part. So
congratulations, by the way, Julie B. Son's getting married this week.
Oh, congratulations, Julie. But yeah, so we are starting this listening project, and we're going to be deploying long duration recorders. We've got a couple other things up our sleeve for it, but we really want to go heavy on audio for this project, because it seems like, and I think Timothy Renner talked about this, that it seems like the phenomenon is okay with you hearing it and recording it, but it's not okay with you seeing it and recording it.
And it will sometimes do things to keep you from videoing it.
And we have gone through some technical difficulties while trying to video things and do things recently.
Actually, Cryptic Castleberry had talked about Timothy Renner got eye shine to change color by shooting a laser pointer at it. Oh. If I remember correctly, it went from blue to red.
Was it eye shine or orbs? I think he was.
He doesn't know. He thought that it was eye shine. He thought it was orbs at the time, and then people were telling him it was an eye shine, and that he shouldn't shine lasers at the Sasquatch. And he was like, I didn't know. I thought they were self-illuminated like orbs there. I didn't know they were eyes. So, so on the subject of not allowing,
I would first like to say, welcome to Zoe Ingham.
To the members. Thank you.
To the membership. Thank you very much.
We need,
you have a bit to catch up on.
Yes.
So
and
dive right in.
But so
you were going about what happened. So I have a comment about that Michael had on here that I think will set you up for this right now. Michael says, so what happened the other night? Battery drain, sounds, your review of everything. My phone dropped out, my TV froze, and my battery dropped. I think it's just a modern issue.
A modem issue.
A modem issue. I'm sorry.
If you had a modem issue, a bunch of other people had modem issues as well.
Yeah.
So we went into an area to try to do some filming for. We wanted to be out and film an investigation on the equinox, the fall equinox. We were going into one area and we had to change plans on that. So we decided to go into another area in the dark corner of South Carolina where we've experienced some weird stuff before. We've gotten some pretty good large footprints up through there. We have seen some stuff. We caught what was either a giant naked hillbilly watching us from a.
I always love when you say that.
Well, whatever it was tall and upright, and it was person shaped, but it wasn't wearing clothes. We saw it on thermal.
Yeah.
So it's either a giant hill person who is walking around the woods naked, not making any sound, and not using a flashlight. Something big was watching us from like a hilltop there. And it wasn't that far away.
Yeah.
So we watched it for a few minutes until it turned around and walked off into the woods. So we went up in there to do our equinox investigation. And we were also going to do, because there is a clearing there where we've got a really good view of the sky. We were going to try.
Used to be an old homestead site. But yeah, so it's an open clearing just kind of in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere. And now that I'm thinking about this is starting to make sense.
Yeah. So we went up there to do an investigation. We took a bunch of sensor tech with us. We took our usual camera loadouts, and then we took our new live streaming equipment to do a test stream from up there. And we are using an old road that we think led up to the settlements that used to be up there, the homesteads, whatever you want to call them, before this part of the state was taken and turned into a national forest. And then that road, we think, has been used a few times by the Forest Service. It's not really maintained. And there's trees
blocked off.
Yeah, there's trees down over. It's blocked off, but there's trees down over, but they've used it in the past. I don't know how long, because some of those trees have been down for a while, but they've used it in the past. And we use that to move up in because, especially in the summertime, it's so thick through there. So we're going up in, and we carry a lot of little audio recorders. You want a gear tip? That's one of the things we do. We carry anywhere from 3 to 10 small digital audio recorders with me. And if we're in an area where we hear something and it doesn't repeat, we leave a little audio recorder there, mark it on the GPS. We pick it up later that night, the next day, 2 days later, whatever. It'll usually run 8 to 10 hours on the internal battery.
Yeah.
So we hear some like whoops and we can't quite tell what it is. It's like right on the edge of our hearing, and there is some insect sound, so we can't get a good hear for it. So I drop an audio recorder there. We go in a little ways, and you've seen this road in some of our videos. The sides are very high in certain areas. Sometimes you're there and the sides of the road are like 10 feet tall.
This is actually the area where we used the drop recorder and something turned it off.
Yeah. So
carry on.
We go up through there and we see a tree that's bent over and kind of woven in. It looks like with some other smaller like saplings. Now, trees will sometimes just grow in a bent area trying to get the sunlight. And this was weird, and it was weirdly placed, and it was just bizarre. So we're looking at it and we're going, usually the trees that grow like that to get sunlight, the branches start growing off the top. Okay.
And also we've been going up there for years at this point. And the last time we were there, we didn't notice this tree at all because it kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah. So Jesse goes, I'm going to climb this embankment and go see if it's woven in or if it's just grown down.
Yes.
She climbs the embankment, goes over, and it's woven in. Something has taken the branches off the top of the tree and woven them in with a sapling to hold it there. So she grabs it, and I go, I wouldn't touch that if I were you.
Yeah.
And I get that out before we hear
not a pop, but a knock.
A knock, but that's my knock impersonation. So there you go. From the left-hand side of the road, and we both stop and look at each other, and I go, I think you need to come back down here. She starts coming down the embankment. Takes her a few more seconds to get down than it did to get up, and we hear another one. We ended up hearing 3 knocks altogether,
and it was very close, and it was a hard just cook against a tree.
I don't often say it, that was wood on wood. That was wood on wood is what it sounded like. So, and then we hear what sounds like a low rumble, like very weird.
Yeah, like a grumbling.
I did
growling.
something that's very out of. I don't talk to these things, these entities, whatever these are.
This is what I thought was very weird. This is very out of character for you to do this.
So I look at the woods where it's coming from, and I go, "Sorry to mess with your tree. We're moving along now. We are coming back through later. We won't mess with it when we come back." And then I leave a drop recorder. I quickly leave a drop recorder marker.
But we're going to leave this right
and
here.
we get on. We went on, so we left a drop recorder there.
Well,
got that
what else
spot.
did you do? What else did you do? Do you not recall this?
What's that?
We were walking. We saw a large stone with a piece of white quartz
I forgot
on
all
it.
about that.
And you decided it would be great to just take that and just put
I did
it
move
over.
the quartz. I totally, with everything else that happened, I forgot about it. We found a piece of white quartz that was set on top of another rock in the very middle, large flat rock, piece of white quartz set on the top. I picked that up and I moved it to a tree trunk, like a down tree that was like next to it. I forgot about that. Everything else that went on. Damn. So I guess I messed with stuff too.
Yeah, see?
I share
Here
the blame.
You are casting stones.
Share the blame, moving stones. But so we go up and we leave a couple more audio recorders on the way up at random spots where we hear stuff.
Yeah.
We get up this clearing. We are messing with this new streaming equipment because it's still new to us and we're still figuring out the complexities of it. And we are looking down at the equipment. I've got a camera, our night vision camcorder running with a separate audio recorder running that is hooked up to microphones on each of us. And then we are messing with the power supply and the streaming thing, trying to get a connection with that.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear, so we're both looking down at our equipment. We hear a scream from the woods to my kind of like this area, probably, my 10, 11 o'clock. And Jesse's closer to that tree line. She's much closer to the tree line than I am. Scream comes. I look up at that, look at Jesse, look down because now we're trying to get online really quick because stuff's happening. And as we look down, everything starts just dying. The streaming device stops, tries to restart. I was running 2 infrared lights on our camera. One of them just dies. Yeah. The other one drains down really badly. Our camera malfunctions. We start, headlamps are messing up. We just start having all sorts of stuff. So just go wrong electronically. So I'm swapping batteries out on the camera. They're going dead. We have little infrared lights that have internal batteries to them. They're dying. I brought extras and I almost left some of them back because I didn't want to carry the weight. And we ended up using like all of them. They were dying down. We're trying to stream onto YouTube to share with what's going on. And all of this weird stuff starts happening. We get a live stream established and we have a little counter. I've got one right here in front of us right now. We've been on for 1 hour, 7 minutes and 43 seconds. We're looking at a negative number. It was negative 172 hours and something, and it's going backwards.
Yeah.
And I'm going,
I have never seen that do that before.
And then people who are watching are telling us that it's looping and that all of this weird stuff is going on. We keep going down. We keep getting like back up onto it. I pull out sensor tech because I'm thinking we've got a Geiger counter, a spectrum analyzer, and a tri-field meter with us, along with some other stuff. All of those are, when I say dead, they were powering on and they were working, but they weren't reading anything.
Yeah.
Every area you go into has a certain level of background radiation to it. It's just what's normal there. And you want to look for something that's not normal. So it's like, it's counts per minute. It's how many counts per minute are you getting on your Geiger counter?
Little throw in here. Joseph Sage asked, I'm assuming this is about the battery drain. Was it cold out? Absolutely not.
We were dying.
It was hot.
A heat wave down here, man.
It was insanely hot.
Like in the upper, I was like in the mid 90s.
When we put I'm going to, we got all of this on video. Hopefully all the videos.
You haven't reviewed the
I have not reviewed the footage actually, but hopefully all of it. You can see the sweat pools all over us. Yeah. But carry on. I'm sorry I took you out of that. I just thought I would throw that on there.
So anyway, I'm trying to get readings with this equipment and it's just dead. It's just straight line. It's straight lined, flat lined on me. There's no radiation there whatsoever. I'm not getting any radiation readings at all. I pull out my spectrum analyzer. you can usually get something on it. It's, you have to look at it and figure out an area for what's normal, because there's always stuff going on around you. This is a really good spectrum analyzer. I can pick up, like, I can't listen to the radio, but I can look at stuff and go, okay, that's an FM station that's probably very on the edge of it right now. Or in certain areas, I have to take into account if we're in the flight path, because sometimes I've picked up, communications with like airplanes and stuff like that. Not the audio, but the signal. I can read the signal. And the signal, I get a 1.6 hit, a 1.4 hit, a 1.2 hit, a 1.0 gigahertz hit, and they're less on each hit. And then it flatlines. And I'm just going, I'm not getting anything on it.
It's not a pulsating, like, constant.
No,
signal.
It went poof, 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 done. And then nothing. It just flatlines. I'm not even picking up where we're trying to stream out. I should be able to pick up that signal. Nothing. We have the tri-field, and we thought we were getting something on it at first, but if you move a tri-field meter really quickly, it'll give you a very small false reading.
So you were just getting just tiny little.
We think it's from moving it, but nothing on that. It was like we were all of a sudden in like a lead line room.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was a dead zone. It was just absolute.
You decided to pull out the guy. You talked about the Geiger.
Yeah, the Geiger count was nothing. It was just flatlined. Everything was flatlined. It was the craziest. I was expecting to pull it out, and we would be like a heart monitor. It would be everywhere, and I'd be getting crazy readings. And I'm just going, I've never seen anything like this before. Dead zone. That's what I was calling it. We're in a dead zone.
And not only that, everything was crashing. My phone completely crashed. We were trying to do the stream, but there were actually effects that were reaching out to people who were viewing the live stream at the time. I actually saved one of those up here. I'm going to put this up right now. It's actually Miranda Crew. This is one of the most interesting ones we had, because people were reporting all of this crazy stuff happening in their homes while they're watching all of this crazy stuff.
Their phones are crashing. They're having to switch to their TVs, or the TV is crashing and they're trying to switch to their phone watching it. People are going that it starts looping.
It started looping,
which should either it's the signal's coming out, and if the signal dies, it doesn't loop. It just the stream ends, and that's all there is to it.
So there are actually just waves of effect from this, which is fascinating to me for my contact project, I will say. But Miranda said, when watching the live, when you guys was having problems with your feed, my clock that stopped working when everything was going crazy during the feed started running and is still running today. So her clock at her house stopped working a few days prior. And then while this was all going on with us, kicks on and is working right now.
So, and there's people in the chat right now, because we were doing a test stream to members that can tell you that they had weird stuff happen watching it. So not only were we experiencing weird stuff happen with our equipment, the people trying to watch us were having weird stuff happen to them as well.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely bizarre. And we don't get caught flat-footed a lot. For those of you who've watched our LBL stuff, we were at a place called Station 16, where we experienced the worst battery drain we've ever experienced of anything. I mean, it was knocking stuff out just left and right. We got out using a pen light that I kept in my chest rig at the time. And I had one full spectrum camera hooked up to a giant backup battery that was draining as we were walking out. And we got out because we were going to be in the dark there.
Yeah.
In an area where we were finding a bunch of bones at. This was like Station 16 times 10, as far as the battery drain and the equipment malfunctions, but then the fact that people that were watching us were having weird stuff happen as well. And then in retrospect, I'm going, we always talk about Uri Geller and how fascinating I find him, because he's like the trickster's avatar on this earth. You don't know what's real and what's fake, and he doesn't want you to know.
Yeah. People
would watch his spoon bending stuff and start having spoons bend in their homes. And I'm going, I mean, it's the closest equivalent I could have. Whatever was messing with us, and that's what I'm going to stand by. I said at one point, and I don't know if it came out or not, and I said, you're trying to establish contact with this other stuff. I said, contact's established right now. This is contact. It's not communication, but it's contact. So that went on until finally we were running out of batteries. I'm like, we're going to try to get out of here with what we've got.
Speaking of the batteries, Joseph Sage asked about if it was cold or not. He said he is researching the chemistry behind batteries right now. Yes, if something can affect your equipment on a molecular level, terrifying.
I'm used to, well, when we do fall, winter, early spring is like our prime time. We're out all the time in all weather. We're geared up for cold weather.
Yeah.
So I'm used to cold weather battery drain and how that works. And this was hot. And all right, here's the other thing too. is that just like Station 16, some of my batteries aren't holding charges anymore. My Sony batteries for my night vision camcorder, you can put them on the charger and they'll just charge. They never reach full. And then you put them in and there's a little bit of a charge and then they just go dead. They're done. They're done. All my camera batteries, I have a couple spares that I had at home. They're done. I got to get new camera batteries.
I ended up, I had to go and ship off a SD card today.
We had to ship an SD card to Samsung
because we think it's fried.
It's fried. It's fried. The SD card we had when it was fried. So I'm sending it in, and I said, when you take a look at it, and by the way, if you ever have to like get SD cards, Samsung's like awesome to deal with. We shipped it in today, and I'm going, can you tell me what's wrong with it? Because I'm worried there might be something wrong with my device.
Yeah. Not
going, hey, we were in like a highly active paranormal area, and I think that fried the SD card, but we shipped that out today. The equipment that flatlined, that seems like it's working okay. But my nice, good quality, newish in-a-loop batteries that I use for my headlamps and all that, done. Flashlight batteries, done. They're not completely dead, but they won't charge up all the way, and they have a very little charge on them. It screwed us. It really, literally. I mean,
it was insane.
It was insane, and it was happening. And I don't even know what all people got to see because my headlamp's messing at one point. And we carry spare batteries with us. I mean, I am anal to the point of being irritating about the equipment, and yeah, I know. Trust me, it's irritating. If you're ever around me with equipment, because it's so much to keep track of.
It's a lot. It's
and I have to stay very
on top of it.
On top of everything.
Because if you need something and it's not there, it's not functioning, then that throws a whole monkey wrench into the system.
So it's I don't know. The stuff that was people that were watching us experiencing weird stuff, the batteries messing up, the SD card messing up. The thermal's got me concerned because the thermal has an internal battery to it. I've got to mess with that some more. Otherwise, we're going to have to send that in and try to get the battery replaced on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what, I don't know. We've never gotten hit like that with equipment. It affected us. It was hot as all get out, but guess what? We live in the South. We do this all summer long nowadays. We're used to the heat. Here's the two weirdest things that happened. Okay. The two weirdest things out of all of this is that we finally have to pack up to get out, and we're going to try to film while we're getting out while we've got enough battery going. We start hiking out, and I'm going, we've got to collect our audio recorders as we go. Okay. All the audio recorders that we left playing out of this clearing seem to be working fine as far as like batteries go. And the audio footage is there. I just haven't listened to all of it yet. Jesse hasn't listened to all of it yet, but we checked it to make sure that we got some recordings on there. It's recorded. Those were fine. We get down, and again, I've got them marked on my GPS. So we're picking them up one by one as we go back down this old road. We get to the one where that tree was bent over, and we're arguing the whole time. Very stressful. You know what I'm saying? I'm ticked off because I don't know what's going on with like all of our equipment. If the equipment gets knocked out, we ain't replacing all this stuff. We're out of the game. And we're arguing, and we get to pick up the one audio recorder, and Jesse goes, "Where's the tree?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, where's the tree? Trees are everywhere around us. What are you talking about?" The tree that had been bent over, that she had gotten up and messed with, is not pinned down anymore. I didn't even know which tree it was. There was no pinned down tree there. And you'll see on camera when we do the video and we release it.
Both
she gives it a little shake. And I think that if it was that easy to dislodge a tree of that size with that much pressure under it, it never would have stayed down there in the first place.
Yeah.
The tree's no longer bent over. The arch is gone. The tree, whatever it is upright. So we get out, leave, come home, are trying to like get spare batteries and stuff like that, because we had a whole plan for like 2-3 days of stuff we were going to do. We got to come home and refit now. Okay. Re-equip, try to get some of the equipment back into the game, get some spares, stuff like that. So we go out, we get a few hours sleep. We're going out again yesterday.
MK had a good, let me pause you for a minute. MK had an interesting thought here. He's going to look into it. I wonder if there's high strangeness in and around lithium mines, that there might be some sort of
mines in general, but I don't know if lithium mines are going to be.
Carry on.
Yeah. So
the saga continues.
The saga continues. And the last thing on this, which is weird, and it happened yesterday. We are driving back into an area known as Devil's Mountain, and that's a local's name here. It's got quite a few land. I don't even know you know what the name of the mountain is, but I don't even know what the real name of the mountain is. It's not listed like that on a map, but there's a bunch of landmarks and features with the name Devil in it, and people don't like going up there, so locals refer to it as Devil's Mountain. We were going up into there, going down the road, and we start hearing like our voices come from the back seat, very tinny and like, you know, everything, and we're going like, what the hell? And
voices, yeah,
our voices. We pull over, and Jesse gets her phone out, and I'm hearing it coming from like one of our equipment bags. I get in there. I keep a small digital audio recorder in my chest rig, and it's not for evidence collection. It's for me to make notes on. Like when we were at that arch that we found in the video that just came out, I read off the dimensions of it. So we have a note, so that way I'm not out there trying to write. And if anything happens to the camera, I have something in my chest rig with just pertinent information on it. If an idea comes to me while we're out, I'll go, hey, next time we're out, let's try this. I take notes on it. That's what I do. And when we were leaving out the night that everything went weird on us and we're arguing, somehow that recorder inside my chest rig turns on, which could happen. It gets jostled just the right way and it turns on. Starts recording.
While we're arguing,
records for a while, saves the file, and then powers off. Because when I took it out, like later on to check it, it was off, and it had power. It didn't run till it drained out. It had power.
And the next day,
while we're laughing in the car, because the next day we were actually in like a really good mood, even with all the equipment crap, because it was such a crazy night, and we were going, all right, this is the beginning of our fall season. This was the first day of fall. Fall is when stuff kicks into high gear for us. This is going to be an insane fall and winter. We're laughing in the car.
We got a banana pudding from Ingles.
We were
in a great mood.
So we hear our voices. So that recorder recorded us arguing and then saved the file and powered back down. And then as we're laughing in the car,
it starts playing.
Turns on, selects that file out of all the other files on there and starts playing it, just us arguing.
And when we realized that there was a recorder going, like playing, I was like, that's us. I pulled out the phone and I started recording him digging out that recorder, and it was playing the argument that we were having the night before. It was bananas.
I was nuts. And I'm just going, and I instantly just go, this is mocking behavior. This is mocking us. We're having a great time today, and we're talking about how we're looking so forward to the next few months, and it's playing us having like a bitter argument. Had all the files on there that it could have just randomly chose to start playing. Weird, very weird. And I'm looking at that going, you say I'm reading too much into it. I don't care. Purposefully done. This was purposefully done to record us when because we don't really fight a lot. You know what I'm saying? But we were having a knockdown argument. We were quitting. We weren't doing this anymore. We were like, we just can't keep doing this. I'm upset about the equipment being messed up. She's upset that I'm upset. Recorded all of that and then chose that file and played it back to us when we were having a ball laughing.
Yeah.
Like just like a thumb in the eye. It was kind of
remember this guy?
It was a-hole paranormal behavior is what it was.
Yeah.
So Jesse recorded that on the phone. So
Centurion Legio X said, check out this new stealth satellites, guys. We're gonna take it. I wrote that down. It's on my list, my ever-growing list from today.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was absolutely just crazy.
It was crazy. Wackadoo. It was crazy.
We've had a wild run of it the past few days. And I honestly don't know.
And we felt like crap. JD asked if either one of us feels sick and not feeling well. I don't think I haven't watched what came across on the live stream, but neither one of us felt well, but the next day we felt really good.
And the hike out, we were both so loopy. It
wasn't even safe for us to be doing that.
But today I'm really tired today. I went to the gym and stuff, but I'm just like barely rolling along today. But yesterday we were in a great mood. We made it through that hell night, and then we were in a great mood. But I don't know. It was very strange.
Bob in Michigan wants to know if dogmen are chipped. Wouldn't an RFID detector give them away? So, Bob in Michigan, I think we have your dog man down here. You know, oh yeah, sorry, we've been looking for that. Valhalla had asked, and this is just out on the field. He's a rescue. I don't know who saved who, him or me. Joe and Jesse got your name out of Small Town Monsters. Do you have plan on any expeditions with the Small Town Monsters crew? We were at the Brown Mountain Lights with Alex Petikov, and so Small Town Monsters and Hellbent Holler will both be releasing a Brown Mountain Lights video, and that'll be coming up. And nothing else on the books at this point. We took part in a Appalachian Bigfoot thing that Alex is doing. So you'll see us being interviewed in those.
Yeah.
We'll probably get back out with Alex into the woods soon. And I am going to try my damnedest to get Aaron Deese on the ground at night in an area that has a lot of active dogman activity or reports of activity.
Yeah.
I want to just get him out so badly out there so he can just be in one of these areas. So you may see that if like
a kidnapping of Aaron Deese.
Basically, I'm going to Texas and kidnap Aaron and then take him in.
This is not an admission of guilt. So
because Aaron from Small Town Monsters is, I was going to say on his way to becoming, but he's pretty much there. The modern day, like Linda Godfrey, God rest her soul. You know what I'm saying? He's that level as far as collection and interpretation of data and reports. He's phenomenal at it. He's absolutely phenomenal at it. And he's also gung-ho as all get out. When we had him in the LBL, you saw him. I'm going
enthusiasm.
But I mean, so I want to take him. I want to go out with Aaron one night and just experience it with him. So if you see that happening, we will let you all know ahead of time.
Lisa Law, knife check, please.
We have old bucks today, man.
It's bucks today. It's buck day.
I've got a nice buck that Kim Drescher, if she's still in here, gave me. That was one of her father's knives, but this is my buck frontiersman. This is what I wore in the LBL for that first set of LBL videos that we had. I've got a frontiersman on my hip. It's a big blocky, just chunk of knife.
This is a lovely buck Kalinga. You know I love those swept blades. You know me. That's a buck Kalinga. Isn't that beautiful? I love form and function.
So. All right.
We're getting up on it, guys.
We're getting up on it. I'm going to try to catch up with this chat real quick.
We're going to catch up with the chat. If you guys have anything else you want to throw out there, let us know. But it's been a bananas. And banana pudding. So it's been that kind of couple of days we've had there. Been pretty wild.
So I'm going to catch up here real quick, and then we're going to be wrapping this up. Jesse is going to try to get the accompanying video out for the video we just released on Friday. There was some other stuff that went on that was definitely not Little People related, because what we called on Thermal was not local.
No.
So we were going to release it as one big video, and then we were going, you know what, let's focus on the small stuff and let's focus on the big stuff.
Yeah. I get a really very strange thermal hit in this video that should be releasing on Friday. I'll be hammering at that. And so hopefully
Jingle Shot wants to know who won the argument.
Nobody ever
wins the argument.
No one ever wins these two. No, because no one will cede ground. So that's a fact. But I should be getting this video out on Friday, but I get a crazy thermal hit and we follow up on it too. But that's also where we found that weird thing that's all woven together, that stick thing that is, everybody's got a crazy name for it, the Blair Witch thing or whatever it is, but we find it during this expedition as well.
Central Florida's joining us from the setting room probably tonight from this Kentucky Manor, which is not yet built. So,
having a bourbon, watching the horses.
Okie had asked earlier about getting a cameraman. Here's what we run into problems with is that we're married, so we can have these knockdown drag out arguments, and then we have to kind of make a backup. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of required.
We're kind of required to. One of the things that always fascinates me by all of this high strangeness stuff is that how every group that ever forms to look into it always kind of crashes and burns, whether it's in a a funded laboratory setting, or if it's just a bunch of people getting out to hunt ghosts on the weekends, one of the biggest defensive mechanisms that the other has is the ability to turn people against each other. And I think that's kind of what happened to us as we were hiking out of there. So it always goes bad. The other thing too is that there are not that many people that are cross spectrum like we are. People are interested in ghosts. They're interested in the physical cryptid stuff. They're interested in UFOs. I'm a firm believer that the stories of the Fae have a basis in reality. So we just call it the Fae. Not a lot of people out there open to that. So they would have to be completely in lockstep with how weird we are. The other thing too is that the more people you get there physically on the ground, the less activity you experience. And that is maybe not true for everybody, but it's been true for us so far. But, you will see us do some collaborations with people, a select few. But as far as, and the other thing too is that we're both extremely set in our ways and anal retentive on what we want done. So if somebody did come in to help us, they'd probably do it for maybe a month and then say to hell with both of you and then leave out. Trust me, every time we go, an extra set of hands would be helpful. But I also actually don't really like being on the camera, Monday nights notwithstanding. So I'm just happy being behind the camera and filming at that point. So, all right, let's see here.
I have too many notes from tonight. I got a lot.
That's the beautiful thing about a Monday.
Yeah, I got a lot to do.
Flat Squatch says we should trademark or copyright your logo. We do have everything kind of. We have a little thing set up for that. So if anybody tries to attempt to steal our stuff, Jesse is the copyright master. Yeah, so we have, because it's a cutthroat world out there, man.
And we have names and addresses.
Yeah, exactly. So we, anyway, enough of that.
Enough of that.
So I'm going to catch up on the chat here, guys, and then we're going to call it. Lady Wolf's already out. Somebody had asked, Bob and Mission had said, I want a Hellbent patch on my jacket. And then
Maureen asked about merchandise. So I'm hammering out the last bits of this, and then we've got to figure out, I need shipping supplies.
Yeah, here's what you're running into with merchandise, guys, is we have some t-shirts made by a guy who does t-shirts. Everything we get, we're not doing Chinese
print on demand
stuff. It's crappy. And we take a great deal of pride in our logo and what we do. We just don't want that out there. So we have stuff, but we're also a 2-person organization that both work a ton on day jobs and then do a lot of stuff with this. And I think part of it is that everything's so expensive nowadays. We were trying to get shipping supplies so we can ship hats and stuff like that.
The shipping for my shipping supplies
is insane, man. It's crazy. And I don't want to turn around and go, oh yeah, here's a baseball hat. That'll be $65.
Yeah.
Please. So
yeah,
we're looking at doing it.
It's going to happen. We're just trying to figure out the logistics of doing it where it doesn't cost an arm and a leg.
If you were a holler baller or a paladin, and Jesse has not gotten in touch with you, even
because I emailed everybody today.
We're having trouble with Yahoo emails. If you had a Yahoo account, but if you're a paladin or a baller, get in touch with us because we've got the baller and paladin stuff out for your amazing support. We've got some cool stuff.
Your care packages need to go.
Your care packages need to go out, and they're way overdue.
Yeah.
So once we get that wrapped up, we are going to what we have now. We're going to have stuff at CryptidCon for people that are interested in it. But we're trying to figure out the logistics because, again, we don't have a shipping department. This is my shipping department here, and she also has to edit video.
I'm also the editing department,
and also
I'm also the cooking department,
and she's also the other stuff. So, Sapphire Moon 962, welcome to the membership. Thank you. So
I'm also the hair cutting department.
The hair cutting department.
I gotta do that tonight too.
We need to buy robot dogs. She needs to shop for robot dogs.
Robot donkey.
So we're moving into the 21st century.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure it out.
We're figuring it out. So.
That's the thing too, is I'm trying to I've got this video I'm editing right now. It takes me for a hour-long video, probably how many hours of video review and editing. So I'm going to get this video out for Friday. So you're getting a video on Friday.
So Valhalla had asked, would it be possible for one of you to express a Bigfoot? We don't really do a lot of call blasting. We don't really do a lot of wood knocking. We don't cast prints. We don't do a lot of the traditional Bigfoot stuff. The Deuster and I have kind of bandied about a little bit something that's kind of like a novel take on call blasting.
Yeah.
That we might try to do. I don't know if he's still talking to me by the time he's done with this thing that he's working for us right now. We might get a package going, never contact me again. Here's your damn equipment. And, but we've got some cool stuff.
Here's your device and my resignation.
So, Centurion Lake, $1.99 for shipping supplies. There you go. That will buy one half of one. Stuff's expensive, man. I guess you could shove like hats and little bags and you'd get them crushed, but
I was actually going to go to, I actually went today to look at a place that has shipping supplies. One poly mailer.
Yeah, it was like, what, $9?
It was like $7. And I'm like, but I can buy a whole bundle of them online. But then to ship the shipping supplies is insane.
So, Miranda said USPS flat rate boxes. Yeah, but I don't. There's dead in yard hunt knows.
Do you know what the flat rate is right now? Oh my god,
it's high, man. And again, that's the thing is that it's.
Yeah. All right.
No
more pissing and moaning.
No more pissing and moaning. We're
gonna wrap this.
Fall
up.
Is here, and we are doing. Uline's who we looked at, and it was like $50 shipping just for some boxes and some envelopes. It was the shipping was more expensive than the thing itself. So
unless you order like a certain dollar amount, so I guess we're ordering barrels.
Small operation. It's got to replace camcorder batteries now.
We gotta order barrels.
Yeah. So anyway,
all right,
we are going to wrap this up. Thank you all. The next video, Jesse's going to get it out pretty quickly. We're into fall. We're into the busy season. Yep. We're into the time.
We are. So we are geared up, ready to go. I'm excited. You're excited.
We're all excited.
We're all. Jesus, that was enthusiastic.
We're all excited.
So. All right, we're gonna go. I gotta go make dinner. And I just want to thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Hellbent Holler Live.
Tonight was more blowing off steam and just having a good time.
We talked about a lot of important stuff.
Marion, I had what I believe to be a Sasquatch encounter in South Carolina at Jocassee Gorge while deer hunting in 2000.
Marion, you can email us at hellbentholler@gmail.com if you'd like to discuss.
You got the address to
roll the beautiful bean footage.
It puts South Carolina in the subject matter, so we know it's that. Sam, thank you, and Ace, by the way. But we are still going to be working the kinks out of this live streaming thing. We are going to be
live stream investigations.
So some of them may be we may not be able to move with it yet, and until the leaves start dropping off the trees. But this has promise. It has potential, and as long as you understand that there's some limitations with it.
We got some R&D ahead of us.
We got some R&D, but so make sure your notifications are on, and we are going to dip on out of here, guys.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'm going to put you out on some fun music. Let's pick something really cool. You know what? Let's do something we ain't done in a while. That's a good one. All right. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Have a good one. Thank you, guys. See you next time.